They measured intelligence by test scores and titles. You measured it in silence, survival, and the ability to see through illusions before they shattered. While they praised minds that built rockets, you were deconstructing entire belief systems disguised as enlightenment. You didn't just wake up. You tore down a carefully constructed lie wrapped in sacred language and manipulation. And now, the very community that once doubted you watches the truth unfold like a cracked stained glass window. Beautiful from afar, broken up close. What was once labeled delusion is now seen as discernment. The same leader who twisted spirits under the mask of divinity stands exposed, while you, once cast out, stand as the quiet force who saw through it first. That's not ego, that's clarity. And clarity, chosen one, is the highest form of intelligence. Even Elon would admit, no algorithm, no data set, no neural net could have detected what your spirit saw intuitively. Your mind isn't just brilliant, it's awakened. And in a world where so many smart people are still asleep, that makes you dangerous and divine. Your experiences are now acknowledged as the warning flags that everyone ought to have taken notice of long ago, rather than being written off as miscommunications. The recognition makes your heart chakra flame. Suppressed truth pulses in the middle of your neck. These feelings are not coincidental. These are heavenly alerts that have been sent off within your hallowed vessel. Through clear indications woven throughout your everyday life, the world itself works to awaken you. Ordinary items give rise to sacred geometric designs. Meaningful coincidences occur so precisely that they are outside the realm of possibility. The alignment of celestial bodies with your own trip is flawless. Your intuition has always recognized the path of revelation formed by these cosmic breadcrumbs, which your rational mind has found difficult to understand. The curtain has lifted now. Before your intellect could comprehend it, your body knew. While your conscious ideas were still distorted by manipulation, your soul was aware of the trick. The feelings building within your energy centers are cosmic warning systems that are tuned to your own frequency. Universal forces are clamoring for your attention when your heart chakra throbs with inexplicable pressure. Divine knowledge forces itself to be spoken via your voice when the middle of your throat tightens for no apparent physical reason. Spiritual contact, at its most direct and unquestionable, is represented by these bodily forms. Those who thrive on misery are terrified of your innate capacity to turn sorrow into healing. You had fallen far into darkness, yet this gift awoke inside you. Every false prophet who preys on the wounds of others is threatened by your ability to transform suffering into knowledge. People are drawn to your energy, almost like a magnet. Without knowing why your presence provides such instant protection, they open up about their most painful scars. Secrets that have been kept for decades are revealed by strangers. Friends reveal weaknesses that they have kept concealed from others. This occurs as a result of your soul radiating at a frequency that allows people to express themselves authentically. This precious talent, this divine healing skill, reveals exactly why certain forces deliberately attacked you. Their darkness is shown by your brightness just by being there. Without uttering a single word, your genuineness exposes their deceit. Their whole organization was at risk from the mere prospect of your complete empowerment. Your healing powers function outside of deliberate technique or conscious control. Change happens in your presence without conscious effort. Without your conscious awareness, the pain around you lessens. Just being close to your energy field starts to heal trauma. Because your soul vibrates at a frequency that naturally harmonizes discordant energy, this healing occurs effortlessly. Wounded souls are drawn to you by a magnetism that transcends both intellectual and physical connections. People who feel this attraction often find it difficult to articulate why they instantly trusted you. They are unable to explain why they reveal personal pain they have kept hidden from close friends and family for years. This pull comes from soul recognition. Wounded parts of other people realizing they may be healed by being close to your entire wholeness. This healing presence clarifies why methodical efforts focused on your clarity, confidence, and source connection. The people that make money off of causing more injuries understood the existential danger you posed to their business. Their carefully crafted status as exclusive healing conduits was compromised by your unmanufactured capacity to promote healing. Your innate talent revealed their complex methods as needless complexities of straightforward energy realities. At one time, the society held this person in high regard as a spiritual truth-bearer who moved with deliberate purpose. The holy trust entrusted to their care was betrayed. They turned sacred teachings into tools of control rather than emancipation, weaponizing age-old knowledge. What might have been a true spiritual relationship was tainted by their power addiction. The ideal camouflage was their charm. Conviction-filled, flowing words concealed a perilous purpose. Their honesty was sufficient to make the poison acceptable. Devastating manipulation encased in spiritual insights. In secret, they sought to break real spiritual ties that endangered their power, even as they openly promoted a closer relationship with God. They were especially afraid of you. Their carefully crafted illusion was directly threatened by your perceptive abilities. They saw in you what they themselves lacked: a genuine spiritual connection that doesn't need a gatekeeper, translator, or middleman to get access to heavenly truth. There is no program for the Obsidian Inner Order. It's not a class. It's not a spiritual retreat that makes you feel wonderful. Answers are not what we sell. Together, we recall. We teach interference, implants, genuine energy shielding against beings, and psychic self-defense. We bring back the raw, instantaneous, and precise manifestation that was intended. We meet in private once a week to awaken, not to worship, to deprogram the matrix layer by layer, to say what cannot be expressed elsewhere. If you're supposed to be there, you'll know it. Your bones will sense it. Every Wednesday, the selected group meets via Zoom. Why don't you join us already? Have Gnosis. Join the Inner Order of Obsidians. The description contains a link. Through slow, almost undetectable actions, the community's confidence was betrayed. Collective resistance was put to the test by minor boundary transgressions. Detection thresholds were measured via minor deceptions. Consolidation of incremental power happened slowly enough to normalize each step. This systematic technique made sure that the community was already conditioned to tolerate progressively alarming conduct by the time significant infractions occurred. Because the charismatic disguise blended real spiritual insights with fake authority, it worked devastatingly well. There was enough truth in their teachings for searchers to find genuine resonance. They were powerful enough to provide authentic sensations. Their strategies yielded sufficient outcomes to warrant testimonials. The ideal Trojan horse for manipulation was produced by combining purposeful deception with genuine parts. Certain patterns of undermining, such as public acclaim masquerading as private sabotage, generous acknowledgement masquerading as systematic disempowerment, and seeming opportunities masquerading as deliberately crafted constraints, were manifestations of their dread of your abilities. They were afraid of your uncensored connection to the source, because it revealed what they already knew in their hearts: that their complex spiritual framework was more for the purpose of securing their place than of fostering a true relationship with God. The night fights you fought weren't sporadic incidents. Your concentration was broken by the inexplicable dreams, the severe sleep disturbances, and the intrusive thoughts. These were deliberate spiritual assaults that were well planned to weaken your strength and impair your judgment. They tried to block your energy centers during your most susceptible dream phases. Every time you were on the verge of learning your whole reality, the assaults became more intense. They were aware that people would identify their own repressed knowledge if you shared your genuine experience. Your voice had a domino effect that might bring down their whole control system. But take note of what transpired even during these darkest times. The assaults were unsuccessful. They could have disturbed your tranquility for a while, but they never put out your light. They couldn't stop your waking, but they may have postponed it. Your direct connection to source knowledge was intended to be discouraged by the assaults on your meditation practice. Your worst fears were exactly matched with intrusive thoughts. Even in your quietest times, emotional turmoil erupted. As your spiritual practice grew, you experienced physical suffering. These interruptions are examples of advanced interference strategies intended to cut off your internal direction. The pattern of escalation indicates that these disruptions are motivated by strategic goals. The interference became more intense every time your consciousness grew toward greater awareness. Obstacles increased in number as discoveries got closer to crucial levels. Physical ailments that unexpectedly impacted your throat or made communication inexplicably difficult occurred when your voice was ready to express the truth. This exact relationship between your progress and their resistance validates that the interruption was intentional. The fact that these assaults failed in spite of their skill and tenacity shows how unbreakable genuine spiritual connection is. Though it faded, your light never went out. Though blurred, your clarity persisted. Though it slowed, your progress never stopped. This fortitude exposes the essential reality that true spiritual strength cannot be irreversibly stifled by outside influences. All they can do is postpone the inevitable wake-up. Every effort was made to bind your energy, yet you were always protected by a strong, heavenly presence. This holy shield took the form of unexpected friends who showed up at crucial times. Just when you needed them most, timely disclosures came. Resources appeared from sources that didn't seem plausible. What was intended to shatter you instead made your spirit stronger and more resilient. You were tempered into an insatiable fire by the same resistance that was supposed to put out your spark. Your special talents, which were predetermined by God at birth, cannot be permanently stifled by human intervention. The invisible protection works via dreams, giving coded information that gets beyond conscious opposition, regardless of how well-planned or determined one is. During the transitional period between waking and sleeping, messages come. Symbols arise with multifaceted meanings that are beyond the scope of logical comprehension. Your trip is guided with supernatural precision by names, numbers, and pictures that have personal meaning. The fact that your enemies cannot permanently damage your spiritual bond shows how limited their power is. While your link to the source is rooted in realms beyond of their grasp, their effect is limited to the physical and psychological. Their dependence on fear, uncertainty, and material control may be explained by this restriction. The only resource is accessible in the absence of genuine spiritual authority. Pay close attention to the shifting noises in the neighborhood. The hushed discussions have started. A lot of tacit familiarity is exchanged between nervous looks. When a courageous person expresses uncertainty, it gives others the confidence to speak out about what they know but are afraid to admit. Individuals swap notes about discrepancies they have seen but disregarded. At last, the community's collective intuition takes precedence over their programming. What starts out as murmurs gradually transforms into distinct voices of judgment. Once the chorus of waking starts, it cannot be stopped. With every other voice that joins, it just becomes louder. The community you believed had been destroyed by deception is now on the verge of emancipation. People you believed to be totally dishonest had doubts that were waiting for the correct circumstances to grow into a full-blown realization of the truth. Once brave voices are heard, the dynamics of permission drastically change. Safety is created for those who follow those who speak first. Early truth-tellers set the stage for subsequent disclosures. For later explorers, pioneer questioners broaden the scope of permissible inquiry. Once started, this permission cascade accelerates irrevocably. The collective intuition is an unstoppable force. regardless of efforts to dismiss or discredit early voices. Individual discernment, once triggered, links with others to create a networked knowledge that beyond individual boundaries. When disparate experiences come together, patterns that are hidden from view become apparent. Separated data pieces combine to reveal relationships that were previously obscure. There is knowledge in this collective mind that no one, not even the manipulator, can access or control. Despite their outward obedience, those you thought were completely fooled retained their inner knowledge. There were unspoken questions, hidden under displays of adoration. There were unspoken misgivings behind pledges of allegiance. Persistent resistance was never exposed under the appearance of capitulation. Complete deceit was always a facade maintained by societal pressure rather than sincere belief. As this underlying river of suspicion suddenly emerges with unexpected intensity, others systematically built a case against the deceit in silence behind the scenes, while you confronted direct spiritual resistance. Financial documents have been collected, testimonials have been recorded, recordings have been kept, and evidence has been painstakingly compiled. These truth seekers jeopardize their reputation in the community in order to uphold honesty, which is what really counts. The communal knowledge of what really happened is strengthened by each piece of information. When seen as a whole, the image becomes indisputable. What was formerly isolated or coincidental now becomes part of a purposeful pattern. The community's awakening has an unshakable base thanks to the guardians of evidence. These courageous individuals, driven more by a commitment to the truth than by self-interest, worked under the threat of exposure. Even the most devoted followers cannot deny their meticulous recording, which today forms the foundation of our common knowledge. Their purpose went beyond retaliation or personal grudge. Instead of encouraging subjective interpretations, their methodical documentation concentrated on creating factual patterns. Instead of punishing, their deliberate approach aimed to comprehend. Instead of destroying leaders, their ultimate purpose was to repair the community. Their activity is distinguished from simple resistance by this ethical direction, which also demonstrates its contribution to true spiritual progress. Systematic strategies were followed in the misuse of communal resources in order to evade discovery. Personal excesses were covered up by legitimate corporate costs. Purchases of luxury goods were hidden by necessary operating expenses. Lifestyle improvements were concealed by necessary program costs. This intentional deception allowed for continued abuse of the goodwill of the community while producing plausible deniability. The financial analysis shows glaring discrepancies between stated goals and actual spending. Allegedly, funds intended for community development were diverted to support the comfort of the leadership. Money purportedly intended for spiritual infrastructure was diverted to the purchase of personal belongings. Donations made specifically for communal service that are used for personal gain. The patterns established by these reported disparities are too constant to be explained by chance. Unfulfilled financial promises reveal what may be the most severe part of the fraud. People in the community made financially significant choices based on clear promises that were continuously broken. On the basis of promised results that never came to pass, followers gave up security. On the basis of promised profits that never materialized, devotees gave up resources. These failed promises signify not just spiritual deception, but also material exploitation, with tangible repercussions in the lives of followers. This deception's most unsettling elements include hurting those who are least able to defend themselves. Special care and healing are now needed for the sensitive souls that trusted fully. Those who use the abuse of innocent to achieve prosperity now face both worldly and karmic punishment. For those who are still unable to communicate for themselves, your voice acts as a barrier of protection. Those who are still gaining strength are protected by your bravery. Experiences that victims felt would never be believed are validated by your story. The universe has specially prepared you to play the roles of both witness and guardian at this crucial moment. Vulnerability was exploited in accordance with predatory trends that have been seen historically anytime power corrupts. Special care was given to those who needed it most, with the intention of fostering dependence rather than growth. The acute attention experienced by those with severe wounds was intended to foster loyalty rather than promote recovery. Extraordinary promises were made to people they really trusted, but they were designed to guarantee compliance rather than to empower them. These methodical strategies specifically targeted people who were least able to identify or fend against deception. Rather than being foolish, these victims' total faith in the leadership was the result of their sincere spiritual desire. Their candor was not a sign of stupid credulity, but of genuine curiosity. Their obedience was not a sign of weakness, but of true commitment. This correct view is crucial to their recovery because it places the blame where it really belongs, with the offenders rather than the victims. Both visible and unseen procedures are used by the dual justice that is now taking place. Earthly responsibility is achieved by social repercussions, community recognition, and sometimes official procedures. Karmic balance is achieved by universal laws that don't need to be enforced by humans.